This is a Film Stories original podcast.
Your planet is now marked for death.
Marvel Studios' The Fantastic Four: First Steps is now streaming on Disney+.
We will protect you.
As a family.
Light him up, Johnny!
Marvel's first family is certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
That is fantastic.
And critics say it's one of the best superhero movies of all time. Marvel Studios' The Fantastic Four: First Steps, now streaming on Disney+. Rated PG-13.
What time is it, Ben? It's clobber time!
Hello and welcome to We Are Starfleet, a Star Trek Strange New Worlds Discovery and now Starfleet Academy podcast on the Film Stories Podcast Network. I'm your captain for today's show, Ashley Thomas, and today we are discussing the 6th episode of the first season of Star Trek Starfleet Academy, Come Let's Away. Joining me to discuss the episode is my co-captain of We Are Starfleet, Mike Slamer. Welcome back to the show today, Mike.
Yes, thank you. I am here in the virtual studio. It is, Ashley, it's so cold out. It's so cold out.
Bro, it is super chilly here today as well.
The deep freeze that we're in is just, my God, I don't know.
Yeah. I love cold weather as long as I have a way to stay inside and be warm.
Luckily, we have so much Star Trek to watch.
I know. It's a nice excuse to get under a soft blankie and drink some coffee and enjoy the show. So that's what we did this afternoon, watching today's episode. And now we're ready to talk about it. So I'm happy to be here with you today, Mike.
Thank you, Ashley.
Yeah, cool. And we're not alone today, Mike.
Nope.
We have got with us the lovely Cipriana Cuevas, your beautiful wife, Mike Slamer. Cipriana, how are you?
Hi, I am really excited to be here. I got to be the guest on a really good episode, so this is awesome.
Yeah, this is really going to be a lot of fun to talk about. And I'm really excited to talk with you about it. Cipriana, this is the first time we've gotten a podcast together. So.
Ooh, that's true. But to be fair, I have only done one podcast, and it was with Mike that one time. So
yeah, that was during Discovery, right?
Yes, yeah. So it was maybe last season, perhaps, because I think Michael was already a captain at the time. So anyway, whatever it was one time. So I have when you were asking me like, oh, do you have any like podcasts? I'm like, no, I've been a guest one time.
Listen, I guested regularly on lots of different shows for like a year before I hosted my own. So this is how they get you. That's how they get you.
That's it.
I don't know, you guys. This looks like a lot of work, so I'm just gonna pop it again in like 2 or 3 years on whatever Star Trek show is on at that time.
Well, we're really happy to have you on the show today, Cipriana.
Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Cipri is just she's dusting off her cadet stripes and joining us on this one.
Yeah.
It's so exciting.
Love it.
She hears me up here like, how many times Ashley will be like, oh yeah, we're going to get together, record. It'll probably take like an hour and a half. Next thing you know, it's 3 hours later.
Absolutely doesn't.
No. We all get in a room and we're just having a good time. We're chatting. We're talking
super
about
fun.
Star Trek.
Oh yeah, it's really fun. Like all I hear is just laughter, like coming out of the clothes. I'm like, you know what? Have a good time in there, guys.
Oh, awesome. Well,
I'll hear it once it's out.
Well, we're really happy you were able to join us today, Cipriana. So I'm going to start with you, Cipriana. I would love to get your overall thoughts about Starfleet Academy.
Ooh, like the show entirely?
Yeah. What do you think about the series thus far? We've got 6 episodes. You've seen them all. How are you feeling?
I have a very, very positive opinion. So I would probably give them about like an 8.5 to a 9. Yeah, it's very, very high ratings because when I'm going into it, I'm viewing it as an entirely different thing. Like I view it as a show with a purpose, and I think that they are nailing that purpose. So in my eyes, the show is trying to introduce the Starfleet universe to a younger audience by making it maybe a little bit sexier, maybe a little bit more intriguing, and then kind of like dipping your toe into like the actual exploration and the Federation. And it just feels like almost like a teaser or like a starter show for an entirely new generation, which if you want Star Trek, like the universe, to last forever, then you need younger fans and like, younger people to care about it. So in my eyes, that's what they're trying to do with this show. And that's why I give it such a high rating. 'Cause I think it feels really young, and it feels like something that, Gen Z would like.
Agree. It has a little bit of a younger feel, but I am also enjoying it way more than I ever thought I would. So I'm
Yeah.
having a good time with it too.
I mean, to be fair, I'm identifying with like the instructors, like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
captain and the doctor, and like the people that I personally am identifying with is not the cadets.
Mm.
Then I'm feeling like, there's an entire other side of the audience, which is the people who identify with the cadets. And they probably think people like us. I'm like, oh my God, they're breaking the rules, Just do the thing and then you won't have all the drama. Okay. Just talk to each other. Anyway, it's really fun. I feel like it works for both sides of it,
Yeah. I agree. Very good. Well, how about this episode? If you had to give it a rating, what would you rate Come Let's Away?
Oh gosh. I should have written that down before. I guess I'll give it a 9.
Ooh,
maybe
high
I'm just in a
marks.
really good mood. I don't know. I'm like super stoked to be here. Give it a 10. No, I thought it was really good because I didn't expect what happened at the end. I don't think that we want to do a spoiler right off the bat, but like I didn't expect it at all. The way it was building up, I thought that we were going to have this like robust new character that was going to kind of join the little mishmash. So then what happened blew my mind, and I was kind of speechless. So there's actually a couple of points throughout that I felt speechless. Yeah, no, actually, I thought that was an excellent episode. Great villain, lots of like amazing tension, really good opportunities for all of the characters to live up to their potential. Everybody had a little moment. So yeah, I'll stand behind it. I'll give it a 9.
Wow. High praise. Mike, what do you think?
I'm gonna have to agree with the high score assessment here. Coming off of it, I was really excited. The climax, the action sequence. Oh man, I did not see that coming, and it paid off so well. There's some like foreshadowing moments as I think about it a little bit more as we step away. But yeah, the return of Nus Braka. I can't wait to talk about it. Great episode. You can tell that the stakes are starting to rise even higher. Like, yeah, we were having fun at the academy. We were at school. We were going through our classes. This is great. We're having a good time. We're now, oh, let's go do a field exercise. Oh, okay, cool. Oh no, one of our instructors just died. Terribly.
Yeah.
Like
Goodness.
the stakes were so high.
Yeah.
So early.
Yeah. I was really surprised by this as well because, folks, we're going right into the episode. Full spoilers. If you haven't gotten to watch episode 6 of Starfleet Academy season 1, Come Let's Away, push pause on the show, go watch it, come right back because we're gonna drop
Full
some spoilers. We're gonna drop some spoilers. So, gosh. When this episode opens and it's all sexy times, I'm like, well, damn, there's the CW.
Yep.
I was like, this is also like amongst some of my friends in the Mission Log Discord community, the conversation was, could you recommend this to families? Could this be family hour viewing? I'm like, well, maybe not this part. We can skip this part. And, fast forward, not quite for the little ones, might be a little bit too scandalous for them. But, this is where everybody keeps calling this 9021 Trek.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like that's been a fair criticism or a fair assessment of the show. I even with this, I don't feel like that's still a fair episode, but it was way more. It wasn't just like a fade to black. It was just, whoa, hey.
Yeah, there was no panning to the fireplace implication moment.
No.
It was it's full on, we get side boob.
Yeah.
We get full back.
I say, is this the first side boob in Star Trek? Wow. Things I'd never thought I would say on a podcast. Here we go.
Fair, but also, I mean, Beverly Crusher goes all in with a ghost, and Deanna Troy also gets multiple, like, sequin nightgown. It's cold in the studio, and you can tell that it's cold in the studio. So this is sort of, yes, it's like, okay, these are young, hot adults doing their thing. Good for them, but this is not new, is my point.
Okay.
This is not entirely new.
No.
And it did end up having a purpose. I guess the scene does feel a little long, I guess, when we're, in retrospect, but the purpose ends up actually like having a reason by the end, their connection and how we needed them to, they definitely could have faded to black and like, up to the violin. They didn't have to do this whole thing, but also this is a 2026 audience, maybe the people are clamoring for this.
Maybe so.
I'm not the people, but maybe.
I'm old, so I don't know.
Actually, I'm pretty sure I'm older than you, so relax.
Are you 40?
I am.
I am also 40. Okay, all right.
There you go.
All right.
We look great. We
do. We look young and fresh. We look like we in this crowd.
Oh my goodness! Yes, this is actually for us. We're Gen Z.
We could definitely be cast.
Oh, Michael!
On the show.
No, baby. Me and
Thank you. We will be cast as the teachers. Anyway. But gosh, yeah. So I wasn't totally expecting that. Maybe that was not a correct assumption of me. But I kind of was like, whoa, we're all up in your business while they're all up in each other's business. So here you go.
I'm an uncommon audience and an uncommon guest. I think we can just go ahead and put that on the table now. But it was giving Love Island a little bit.
Oh,
we are also watching, but there is a lot of that like kind of hint. Where you're like, well, they can't show it because they can't legally, like, you can't put porn on there,
No.
Wow, you're gonna have to edit that out.
Nah, it's fine.
Anyway,
we have a full adult rating on Spotify.
Anyway, the point is, sometimes you're just like, hey, that's a lot, and I guess the side boob angle was kind of a lot. So leave it for Love Island, guys.
But you're right. This isn't just there for, I heard it on a podcast once that the cheapest special effect in Hollywood is nudity, which is, why you use it so much in, B movies, because it's cheapest and best special effects. So, and while we don't have any like nudity in here, this scene does serve a narrative function. It's not just gratuitous. It explains Tarima and Caleb's connection, why later in the episode she's able to communicate with him when their comms are broken. So yeah, it's there for a reason.
Yeah, and it feels relevant because these are young people growing up that we're watching kind of learn and grow and have all these new experiences. So like also the development of their relationship feels relevant. This isn't necessarily like we're not exploring the universe, we're exploring these cadets.
Okay.
Yeah. The other great point of this scene is when we finally get a sense of Tarima's Betazoid powers and what her capabilities actually are. When she pulls Caleb into the flower field and, you start getting, as a viewer, I finally started to understand this is who Tarima is. This is what she's capable of. This is what her special power is. We are going to learn more about it in this episode. I can't wait. And then that moment when she found the teddy bear, oh man, right then, yes, the twist.
Yeah. That was so powerful that they're like connecting in their souls.
Yeah, definitely.
And then they had that awkward moment, which again, universe relevant, where both of them kind of jump off from that connection because they're young and they're inexperienced. So then the older audience, which is us, we're all like, you kids will talk it out later.
Well, and also Caleb, who grew up learning from his experience that he can't trust anybody but himself, learning that, whoa, she found out stuff that I didn't want to share with her or anybody, not just you, girl. I don't want to share this with nobody. That really scared him.
Yeah.
It made him what he perceives as vulnerable, and he is not one to want to feel vulnerable in any way.
This actually makes me ask, like, has there been a big romance? Not a love story, because there's been many love stories in Star Trek, but this is like, there's like the depth of their soul's connection and their like inability to be away from each other. I don't know. And it really feels like it's for an audience that includes me.
Mm.
Like, I really like this. There's like a yearning here.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. There's definitely lots of emotions, and like, well, my favorite character is Sam, but like far above,
Oh my gosh,
far and away, I adore her.
so sweet.
I really identify with a lot of what Tarima deals with because she has the emotional inhibitor. I have ADHD, and one of my main ADHD symptoms is I lack emotional regulation. So I have big feels all the time. I know what it's like to have like lots of big emotions and feel like I can't control them. I don't know how to stop them. And, and that can swing both ways. They trend happy. So I'm usually okay with that. But if I am upset, I am really upset, you know?
I love that there's almost a representation of that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then it
And
turns out to be a superpower.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like I'm learning, as I only got the diagnosis 4 days before my 40th birthday. This is what it's like to be a woman with ADHD,
Early
I
diagnosis there.
yeah, yeah, I mean, once we found out, it was just not surprising to anybody. It was just like, oh, yeah, yeah, that makes sense. So, but the thing with that is learning that while my brain is wired differently, that's not a bad thing. You just got to learn how to use it like anything else. So,
Exactly.
and
And
I think Tarima is probably going to have something a similar kind of thing.
I
Mm-hmm.
kind of feel like even at the crux of the episode.
Yeah, she definitely is using those abilities for sure in this episode like that.
I love that when a perceived weakness ends up being kind of what saves the day.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. I love that.
All right, I think that's enough on this couple though.
Yeah, I know, right? This
Keeping it
is
moving.
a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. So we swing from sexy times to dangerous times. So, Mike, I'm
Wait,
gonna.
have you given us your rating?
Oh, me? Oh gosh. You know
Yeah.
what? See, again, this is what it's like to have ADHD. I think I'm gonna have to give this one a 9 as well.
Ooh.
Just the big swings this episode takes. I thought Nus was like a little bit like comical in the first episode. I mean, part of it's like, oh, this is Paul Giamatti, like,
Mm.
leaving teeth marks on every single bit of scenery in this episode. But with this, he went from fun and like comical to positively sinister and menacing.
Yeah.
And I loved that. I thought that was fantastic. So,
It happened like in the middle of that speech too.
oh
Where he's
gosh,
just
yeah.
like first he's just like saying stuff and you're like, whatever, man, and then you're like,
Hmm.
holy crap.
Yeah, yeah. And just with the emotional manipulation, yeah, man. Whew.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
it was a
Well,
whole thing.
I definitely want to talk heavily when we get to that part. That's
Hmm.
seeing Giamatti really eat up this screen. We haven't really had a Trek villain like this in a long time, and I'm so here for it.
Hmm. Yeah, would agree. Would agree. But yeah, I think I'm gonna give this one a 9. Thank you for keeping me on track with that. So yeah, with this, we've opened the episode with some sexy times. We're getting some connection, and then oh no, we have made too much connection, and now we can't handle that. So we're gonna have feels and drama, because again, this is our young adult show. We got to have a little bit of angst, but not too much angst. So, but yeah, we go almost immediately from sexy times to what started as a nice little field exercise. We're gonna have some dangerous times.
That's
Ooh.
right.
Yeah. So, Mike, I'm gonna kick it over to you first, buddy. How are you feeling about this training exercise? The red and the blue teams. What do you think?
Yeah. I love the setup. I love that also we're getting right into the episode. Like, yes, we opened with this relationship. We opened with some dramatic tension between the two of them, a little tug and pull, a little testing the connection in terms of using some Love Island language here. They're testing the connection. And now we are off and we're on the challenge, right? We're doing the challenge. And it's so great because we finally get to see the Starfleet Academy cadets and the War College cadets. And there's this sort of juxtaposition between them and the framing of Chancellor Aki and she calls him Chancellor Kelrek at the very opening of this setup here. You know, the mutual respect between them. Kelrick, I said this in our previous episode recording with Earl, you know, I hope that we get to see a little bit of Kelrick actually doing his job and not just being like kind of the butt of the joke a little bit here. And we do get to see that. And he comes through and he seems very capable and very adept. And clearly he has taught his cadets well because as the events unfold in this episode, there are certain things that the War College does that Starfleet didn't do, which I thought was really interesting. So yes, I really like it. You know, the whole context of here's this training exercise aboard a derelict starship that we use for cadets to actually train on. And oh, by the way, while we're training them on this vessel, we're also trying to repair the vessel and restore it. I thought that was a really cool and unique sort of setup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved that too. I thought it seemed very, I don't know, it explained, there's no question of why they're there, how it makes sense, what they've been doing in universe. It actually was like a very neat way to explain it all in a very short amount of time, which I appreciated as a viewer. Like, we didn't have to have a whole bunch of, you know, just like somebody like verbally telling you everything. And then I also thought it was really fun that, you know, there's the cadets and then there's the instructors. And when we're going into it, like it's such kind of high mood because the instructors are making bets with each other. And then we've got, is it Toro?
Tomo.
So we've got him with the cadets, and you've got a real instructor vibe in the way that he's kind of like pushing Caleb as he's trying to figure out the lock thing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Restoring power allowed them to activate life support.
Yep.
And then what made it fun was the time limit that they kind of like had imposed on that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, you're gonna do it in this time, and then they were betting, and I don't know. That was very fun. This is another kind of example of how they make this fun for everyone.
Yeah. Enjoyed the you know, the kind of the playful betting, the stakes set up there. And so as soon as like Caleb was able to, you know, get that knocked out right away, I'm just like,
yeah,
that means something bad's going to happen. Something's going to go south. Something's going to go south with this.
That's so funny because I was thinking like they had established the stakes as so low that I actually, you know, forgive me, I kind of started looking at my phone a little bit because I was like, oh, this is going to be like a fun episode. You know, it's going to be adorable, and they're going to go and they're going to do their thing, and they're going to work out their relationship, and that's this episode. So it actually made it so much bigger for me when the stakes grew because I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really good indicator. You know, one thing I've been kind of keeping an eye on in this show is Caleb Muir himself. He's a whiz kid. So he comes in and he's able to like restore power almost, you know, within a couple of minutes, impresses instructor Tomov, Commander Tomov, and to the point where he says, Cadet Mir has been doing his homework, and he looks at all the other cadets. I thought that was a really good way to kind of like just drop the knowledge again for viewers that, hey, Mir isn't just another guy. He's somebody special, and there's a reason Aki is all about him other than just the fact that, like, yeah, she feels personally attached to him. She recognizes the greatness for the potential for the greatness.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, who's this new instructor? Well, don't matter. Because poor guy didn't get any shore leave for 6 months. He'd been on the ship for 6 months, and now he's... Oh, man.
We should have known. Yeah. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that you guys figured it out. And in hindsight, I should have figured it out too. Like, of course, this brand new named character.
Yeah.
Going to be so like in a position of a mentor, and we're going to go into the unknown. Like, yeah, He's going to sacrifice himself.
Yeah, it did not make it any less brutal, even though
It was so brutal.
I kind of saw it coming. And was like, oh man, this is tough stuff. You did that classic sci-fi thing of you're fighting in a hallway. Okay, let's get on through. We're gonna blast the door, keep it locked so they can't get through. Okay, we got to keep moving this way, keep it moving, and then you kids go on through. And he's trying to take everybody out as best he can. And so how much of this did y'all watch and were like, huh? So we're gonna go Star Wars with this because that episode 1, they're trying to get through the doorway. I'm just seeing like Ewan McGregor and Liam
Yeah.
Neeson on the other side trying to
Yep.
melt the doorway with the lightsaber. And then when Sam gets to the computer junction and she just kind of sticks her hand in there, and Hot Wars is like, oh, Sam is R2D2.
It did seem a little inspired.
Yeah.
But honestly, like all of that functionality, it worked in the context of the episode, and it worked as like, Sam being a photonic, excuse me. They don't like to be called holograms.
Yeah, photonic.
That's right. It worked. I mean, based off of what we have seen her do up to this point, it's a general interface command. Like that's
Right.
how I view it in the big cannon strapped on top of my head, right? Like I can easily explain away programmable matter. I can easily explain away transporters. Of course, I can easily explain away that a photonic has the capability to magically interface with a computer system. No problem with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it did
Yeah.
feel honest. Like maybe it was a little, maybe it was very referential, but it felt honest. Like when she stepped up there and put her hand in there, I was like, that's exactly what she would be doing, and that's how she does her part.
Yeah. No, and I love that. I love
They
that.
even addressed it, I think. Like, didn't someone say something to her like, "Oh, it could take hours," and she's like, "For you."
Yeah.
Yeah, don't forget.
And I liked the effect of when she's like jacked into the computer system, you see like her eyes like go all digital.
Yeah.
Like you can see like here are all the things running like processing through her brain at this moment. I'm like, wow, that's
I
really
love
cool.
that. That's one of my favorite, just like CGI tropes. I'm like, yep, do
Yeah.
that. Show me the
No.
digital stuff in the eyes. I like it.
I like a nice little splash of cyberpunk in my Star Trek every now and then. Definitely down with that.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah. All right. So we're on the bridge. Things are it's tough. I liked having to trick the computer system into thinking like the crew is dead, we're a new crew. How do you do that? You feed them the comic book that inspired Cadet Bavi.
It was another one of those moments where it's like there's these little silly things that happen in the show, and there is always a bigger purpose for that, and it always ends up coming back in a way that is very unexpected. But I loved that, and then especially the moment that Bavi had with Caleb, where it turned out that Caleb actually had read the comic books. It's just like even that was another layer. Like it was necessary on so many levels.
Yeah. I think this particular aspect is super interesting to me on a lot of levels because I've been reading comics since I could read. I have always loved comic books, still read comic books. Currently behind me are several large, full, and heavy long boxes of comics. So we love comics.
We got comics here. Mike's got comics in his office. Like you're talking to your people.
Yeah. So I love one. This is just another example of how it's a fictional story, but it inspires people to take real world action, and that inspired Bobby to join Starfleet Academy. I think that's awesome. 2, as we were talking, it occurred to me, oh, this is War Games. Have y'all seen the film War Games from the 80s?
I haven't.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Cipriana, in the film War Games, for anybody else who may not have seen War Games, there is a supercomputer at a underground military base, and a teenage computer hacker played by Matthew Broderick has hacked into this system accidentally, thinking that he was finding new computer games to play, but instead he found training scenarios for this supercomputer called the Whopper,
Ooh.
and one of them is called thermonuclear war.
Yep.
And so
Wait, this sounds really good.
yes,
really good.
it's an amazing film. Please go watch it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he starts playing thermonuclear war and almost sets off a whole bunch of nukes. And in order to stop the computer, because it's basically shut down, the only way to stop it is like we got to teach it that this is a terrible idea. You know, kind of the concept of mutually assured destruction. And so
I thought it was like teach it by showing it a flower. I don't know.
Well, it teaches it. So he teaches the computer this is a bad idea. Sorry, y'all. I'm about to spoil a movie from like the 1984.
I know it's a movie that's like 40 years old, and I hate to say it, but let me take my headphones off real quick, and then you can do that because I don't want it spoiled.
Okay, all right. So take off your headphones, and then I'll give you a thumbs up whenever you're ready. Okay. So for those of you still listening, he teaches the computer that this is a fruitless activity by teaching it to play tic-tac-toe, and it keeps playing tic-tac-toe by itself over and over and over again. And the only winning move is not to play, is what the computer learns. And
my God.
What I loved about this was you were doing something simple, making the computer read the comic book and learning that, oh, this is the computer is dead. So
and on top of it, Nus Braka has tic-tac-toe shaved into the side of his head.
Oh my gosh! I noticed the tic-tac-toe in his head, but I didn't make that connection until you just said that. Oh my gosh!
Wow!
So Cipriana, all you need to know is tic-tac-toe is crucial to war games.
Amazing.
Okay.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, then that's really cool. You guys just figured out that there's a reference to the movie that it actually reminded you of. That's
wow.
awesome.
There's a lot of references packed in this one too.
So y'all, one of the reasons I love science fiction so much is that one of my grad school professors, Dr. Amy H. Sturgis, who's been on our show.
Yeah.
Dr. Amy
Shout out, Dr. Amy.
We love you, Dr. Amy. Dr. Amy, in her modern sci-fi, I took both her early and her modern sci-fi classes. And one of the things that she talked about in those classes is how science fiction is a conversation. And science fiction is one of the only genres where like film and television matter as much as the literature. And all of these stories are in conversation with one another. And so while, in the span of the 10, 15 minutes we've been talking, we've brought up Star Wars Episode 1. We've brought up, almost every Star Wars movie that R2-D2 is in, where he jacks into whatever ship or base or whatever. We've done that. And now we've brought up war games. And there's even like the further meta commentary of Nus Braka having the tic-tac-toe game shaved into his head.
Yep.
And
there's also Cipriana spotted a Sideways reference as well.
Yeah.
Sideways. I'm not familiar with Sideways, so please help me.
It's a movie from, oh my gosh, I actually don't even remember, the early 2000s.
Okay.
But it's a Paul Giamatti movie, and I think he won an Oscar for it. It is an Oscar-winning film, and I'm pretty sure he won an Oscar as well. And it's about a group of kind of wine snobs and sommeliers, and what would he call him? Zadmiral. He made a reference where he was just like, because I know it's not sommeliers, but making a reference to him, having a really a very refined palate for wine.
Oh, fun.
So
okay.
I thought that was kind of funny because it's, that's a Paul Giamatti thing.
That's a nice layer that I didn't know because I've not seen that film. That's so awesome.
It's a really, really interesting film. I watched it, I think, a little bit too young, and so there's a whole thing in there about Merlots not being great, and so I just didn't drink them. I was like, they're too dry. What did I know? I was 22,
How funny. How funny.
Movies from 2004. I was 19. I should not have been drinking, but I was. I was.
Well, hey, you weren't drinking Merlot.
I was drinking whatever was at the party. Whatever. Anyway.
Whatever was there.
Definitely keep this one moving.
That's funny. Okay.
Talking about that scene where Nus Braka is having all those spirits at the table and just basically taking in everything that the Federation replicator can make, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's just going all in on it. There's a ton of great dialogue in that scene. He is spitting at Nala Ake. He is spitting in the face of Admiral Vance. He knows that he has them exactly where he wants them.
And it's interesting because even we, like, as I'm watching that scene, I'm like, why are they letting him talk to them like that? And it's because they think that they're also one step ahead of him. And their part was to essentially manipulate him into staying longer so they could figure some stuff out. Right, Mike? Because I was trying to be, I'm like, why are they allowing him to do this? And it's because they thought it was a part of their plan. And then at the end of the day, he was smarter than them in the first place.
What do we think of the Furies? These bat-like creatures that we never get a clear look at because their faces keep blurring. I wasn't really sure what that was about. Have we seen these guys before?
So, no, we have not, at least not so far as I can tell on TV and or in movies. However, I could not help but think about a specific series of novels that I read like one or two of, and I looked it up, and yes, it is a novel series called Star Trek Invasion. And I think there's like 3 or 4 novels set in this miniseries, and it spans everything from the original series all the way through to Star Trek Voyager. And the Furies they're kind of like these evil type demon race. According to the beta canon, originating in another galaxy, the Furies were comprised of 666 non-humanoid races gathered into a collective. They were naturally inspired. They were designed to naturally inspire fear and terror in those that they encountered and would often enslave whoever they would conquer. Their appearance was likened to demons or other horrifying mythological creatures. So that is the Furies introduced in the miniseries Star Trek Invasion, which I vaguely have a recollection of the first one with Kirk, and Spock, of course, are the first ones to stumble upon them and kind of unleash the story as it goes through the eons, and every hero captain has to deal with them.
Wow. Yeah. This also, they gave me Reaver vibes from
That's
Firefly.
the same thing I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they definitely reminded me of the Reavers, especially with like the cannibalism and like the
Right.
oh no, here they come, everybody run. Yeah.
Yeah.
They also, I like the point that they were in another series because they also give a little bit of like a vague henchman vibe. Like you can kind of plug them into anywhere if you want a high stakes episode. So yeah.
Yeah. They were sufficiently dangerous.
Yeah.
Like they eat people.
Like,
we don't have time. Here they go.
Yeah.
Yucko.
Yeah.
Well, they take a big bite out of Kyle's leg.
Ugh.
Michael.
Poor Kyle.
Poor Kyle.
It means Kyle.
Kyle. Poor Kyle.
I love him.
Also, poor Commander Tomov. I mean, he went down
Oh my gosh.
in a sacrifice. He knew what he was up against, and he gave the cadets a chance to escape, get to the bridge, survive, and he went down swinging.
And then they flung him out the airlock. That was so cold.
Literally, it's space.
Literally, they were like, whatever, there you go. Oh, that was harsh. Like, not just kill him, disrespect his body. Lord have mercy.
Ashley, do you think it seems to me that the Furies are on the payroll of Nus Braka here?
Based on the ending that we get, yeah, wouldn't be surprised. So
there might be a lot more to him. There is a lot more to him. I don't think we know how deeply connected in the galaxy he is. How high up of a big bad he is.
Yeah. When we started the season, I likened him. He gave me kind of the same kind of funny villain vibes that I get from Rainn Wilson's interpretation of Harry Mudd. That we got in earlier Discovery, and I really loved his interpretation of Mudd because he was just kind of over the top and mustache twirling. And here, he's still over the top. He's still mustache twirling, but oh no, he gonna mess you up. And
I mean, it was like the entire episode where it's like the stakes felt low, and with him, they had already been set low a few episodes ago. He was just kind of he was a mustache twirling villain, and I was just like, wow, what did he do? He attacked, like, all of these things that he did were so much more than what I thought the stakes were in this episode. So that was kind of mind blowing because it kind of, I suppose that makes the opening sexy time scene even more poignant. You know, they're like,
Yeah.
no, we're setting you up for this from the very start. It's like you think you're watching this, but no, you are not.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a fascinating, like, so multi-layered episode. The more we're talking about it, the more I'm getting out of it. So
I can't wait to watch it with subtitles.
yeah, I know. That is the challenge. You know, we are very, very thankful that we are gifted screeners from Paramount. So thank you, Paramount, for that.
Thank you.
If we could just make one request, could we please get subtitles? Please
We're
and
not
thank
that
you.
young.
Well, you know, also not for nothing, like some of the audio mixing is always just so so tough to kind of
My steak is
hear.
too juicy.
I'm
sorry.
My 50s are you know, I've got so many 50s they won't fit in my wallet. My diamond shoes are too tight. You know?
You guys, early episodes, that's so cool.
Yeah. So, but
subtitles would be nice, yes.
Subtitles would be nice also, so I wouldn't have to ask my editors to let me go back and correct spellings of names that aren't revealed until the episode drops.
Yes.
But my gosh. Okay. Let's get back on track a little bit.
Sorry.
No, it's usually my fault. You're fine.
Hooray.
So we get this big reveal. We learned earlier in the season that Nala lost a son who was on a Starfleet mission, and he died in action, which was very sad. Nus has done his homework about Nala, and she's following that needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few sort of thing. She went to battle for the Starfleet for the fleet, but lost her son. She could have went to left her ship and went after him. Maybe would have saved him, but she chose not to.
And
I can't
said it in the cruelest possible way.
Oh my gosh!
So he's like the lifetimes that you could have had with him, like all of the lives of all the people that you saved couldn't even compare. Like I can't even remember the phrasing, but I was literally sitting there just with my hand on my mouth.
The way that Nus Braka and that Paul Giamatti and the writers have kind of prefaced this, where he starts talking about a trauma loop. As a Lanthanite, he points out, he's like, did you ever learn anything in your original language? You don't even have words for things like end, or beginning and an end. You don't have those words because you don't experience those things. Everything is just on a constant loop. And he kind of digs into the psychology a little bit, which, we haven't gotten any of, because the Lanthanite is a new Star Trek race that we've only recently been introduced to. And to kind of understand that this sort of semi-immortal kind of a being, very long-lived being, can experience all of these lifetimes at once, and then kind of like, does it get jumbled? Does she confuse things? Like, when did that happen again? Was that yesterday? Was that 200 years ago? So we're kind of starting to get like a drip of information on Lanthanites and their culture. And the way that Nus is phrasing this to us, and what we're learning very quickly, of course, is about Nala Ake's personal sacrifice of losing her son, because he makes it clear that there's a great possibility that he could have been saved had Nala just foregone her duty. But instead, she stayed and she focused on her duty. And now she's doing that again. She did it again with him, with both Caleb Mir and with Nus Braka and with Mir's mother. And now she's doing it again, where she's chasing her duty instead of going to save Caleb Mir. Except now she's going to Nus Braka to help save him. And that's sort of like the intertwining layers of that story and that dynamic. That's what makes me feel like this is one of the best villains we've seen on Star Trek. Man, I mean, I hate to say it, but in a very long time.
Yeah.
The depth of planning and the amount of like the psychological depth of how he understood her and the level of choices that she would make. It's absolutely insane. Yeah, this is actually kind of a like an I would call him an iconic villain at this point.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see if they stick the landing with the end of the season, so I'll withhold the word iconic, but it's on the table.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely up for consideration.
Yeah.
Because like
It's his to lose at this point.
yeah, I mean, because you almost want to like him because there's some sort of charm about him. Like he's very interesting. He's very different because he's half what is he, half Klingon, half Tellarite.
Yep.
Yeah, we've never seen anything like that before in Star
And it's
Trek.
all aggression. Like from what we know of Klingons, of course, full of honor, full of strength, but Tellarites are very aggressive as individuals.
Yeah.
So this is a really unique combo. And the fact that he is
That's an irresponsible mix.
big facts. Extremely.
It's like a doodle. Don't do
Yeah.
that.
Like with the what's
It's
the right
a
word?
Klingon doodle. Can we call it a Klingon doodle?
Klingon doodle. Oh my gosh. But are they hypoallergenic?
I mean, of course.
Of course.
Just because he's evil doesn't mean he's still a hypoallergenic, though.
Yeah. What I like about him, I like that charm. And here, though, like he's got that Tellarite bluster about him that we really get a good look at in Star Trek Prodigy with Jankum Pog.
Yep.
Except that he's evil.
That's what the Tellarites are.
Yeah.
I really like Jankum Pog.
I love Jankum Pog. And, played wonderfully by Jason Mantzoukas, just perfectly embodies that kind of energy that, like, here we got with Paul Giamatti.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, I lost track of what we were talking about.
Well, it's crazy how he does that and it's still so likable. It's the charm. That's what you meant. Like, it's the there's something about him, even as he's saying this, like, soul-destroying things, we're still kind of like, I mean, but he's got a little swag to him.
Yeah. Like, we see how you got there. It doesn't mean you're right, but we see how you got there.
That a weird comparison. Killmonger from the...
Yes!
Right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Black Panther, why would I not? Sorry.
Yeah. Yes. I love... Killmonger is my favorite villain because he's right.
Yeah. And when you're right, you're right.
You're right. I don't agree with your methods, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, then there's something just kind of like, as he explains it, you want to listen.
Yeah.
So I look forward to hearing this guy's his little manifesto.
Yeah. This is. I'm really curious to see how he's going to shake out by the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, we get a lore dump for him too.
Yeah.
A little bit of
talk about that, Mike.
All right, fair enough. Like we finally get to understand that Nus Braka has basically he's a crime lord. That's what he does. He's a little warlord. He's got his own little sector of space, and he's getting his money, and he's living the high life as he wants to, as he needs to. And, that's being chipped away at because now, guess what? Dilithium is back on the table. And no longer is Nus Braka in charge of that one little highway where everyone has to stop off and get their crappy Ractagino before they split, right? So he's no longer the troll under the bridge collecting the tolls. Right. And he wants his piece back. So I think that's a pretty good motivation for a villain of this type to start branching out and knowing that he has Nala Aki's number is what is giving him, I think, the cojones to actually push and go for it.
Yeah. I mean, and the two of them actually have that kind of intimacy where I think that he kind of requires her for any of his plans to work.
Mm-hmm.
And I was surprised when the immediate decision wasn't, well, then, you're kind of grounded on Earth because he's going to keep trying to use you. I don't know. They didn't ask me, so that would have been my first solution.
There's another quote that I thought was really good in these scenes between Nala Ake and Nus Braka. Ake says, well, Nus wants to have, he's like, come on, let's have a conversation about it. And she says, a conversation is a fair exchange of ideas between equals. And I love that line. I think about that all the time. In the workplace, I very often have to deal with individuals that have titles that are well above where I'm at. And, everyone likes to phrase, we're just having a conversation. But that's not a conversation. We're not actually having a conversation. We're having a back and forth about a direction we're going and the strategy that needs to be taken. But at the end of the day, I still have to sack up and do what I'm told. So that's not really a conversation between equals. And I love the writing in this show has really kind of like peppered in not just iconic quotes from the series, from 30 years ago, but they're making iconic quotes of their own.
Yeah, like we kind of missed another thing that she said, which is when they were talking about, reaching out to Nus Braka, and they said the enemy of our enemy, and then she kind of turns and goes, is usually just another enemy.
Yeah.
And that was a mower. I was like, ooh, and she was right. She was right.
Yeah.
She's great. She's so good in this.
I adore her. Love, as a Southern lady, love having a Southern lady in the captain's chair. Like somebody who sounds kind of like me, yes, please. We do wear shoes, though. Hers is a sensory thing. Everybody needs to, just because Holly Hunter's from Georgia doesn't mean a thing. So, anyway.
Nope, everyone in Georgia doesn't wear shoes. That is now canon.
Nope. Oh, dear Lord. Okay. Man, what else do y'all want to talk about before we get to the ending?
There's a lot of little stuff that happens in this episode that I don't think is necessarily little, using air quotes, but a couple of things that I really liked here was Cadet Raimi and Cadet Genesis back on the bridge of the Athena. There's a great moment where Raimi actually gives credit to Genesis for coming up with the idea to send the space probe out to find this cloaked ship. Laura Thought comes over and says, great job, cadets. Raimi says, oh, actually, it was all Genesis.
Yeah, that nice little growth moment for him.
That's a great growth moment because episode 1, Raimi would not have done that.
No.
Maybe not even episode 4. Yeah, it's been really, that is one of the really unique things about this is that we're so invested in these kids and then they have a moment. And both Genesis and Raimi, they had the opportunity to kind of step up and show the best of themselves, and they both did.
Yeah, that was really nice. That was really nice. We get the little callback. Cadet Bavi says, as a famous Starfleet officer once said, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, or the one. And then we watch him live that out. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Like, you talk about, like, we already had some high stakes because the Furies are freaking scary. We've got Paul Giamatti going from mustache twirly villain to, I'm going to mess you up and, I'm going to cast psychic damage to you, to use a D&D term. I'm going to cast psychic damage on you, Captain Nala. Oh my gosh. So not only we have that, but watching him get blown away right through the chest.
I will tell you, I was in denial until the last moments of the episode.
I know. I was like, they're going to fix that, right?
Yeah. I'm like, okay, get him to the med bay. Come on, we've seen crazier things reverse,
Get the dermal regenerator.
What's going on? Where's the doctor?
Oh my gosh. That was absolutely brutal. And the fact that he took that for Caleb?
Oh my gosh.
I never saw that.
What a noble character. It was a moment where I was just like, wow, this is these are kids, but this is tomorrow's leader.
Yeah.
And what a loss that is for Vulcans. What a loss that is for the Federation. And he had he had that moment. He had a heroic death. But wow, imagine if he'd been able to develop and grow and become and that's where it starts getting, it's the loss of potential is so much sadder to me. And that's why his Bobby's death hit harder than Toma. It hit so much harder because it's Toma was he was an instructor and he was there to protect those kids. He was there to make sure that the future of the Federation was protected. And then one of those very kids just like proved like the power. I don't know. It also made me feel a lot more positive. This entire episode kind of rehabbed the war college for me a little bit.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Like, I think here you really get to see, like, we want to be like Starfleet. We want to, be peaceful, to almost to a fault, How can we build bridges rather than fight battles? How can we work up diplomatic solutions instead of just punching each other harder?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the
But
moment that was like, then put yourself up there and protect someone, it's like that kid from the war college immediately lived those ideals.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that was
like
amazing.
you've got to have both because not every, you can try your best to work out diplomatic solutions, work out peaceful solutions. Not everybody's going to play that way. And
Yeah.
that's, I mean, that is a sad reality that they're facing here and that we have to face with today. And it's heartbreaking.
What's that iconic quote, which is, "You can do everything right and still lose."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
Captain
Another-
it's
Picard.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
See? It all comes together. The Star Trek universe has so much to teach us.
It's all coming back, and I have decided after watching this is when I go, you better have the United Federation of Planets over my casket. Um,
Oh, I love that.
yeah, that's after seeing that in at the end
Yeah.
of this episode with Cadet Bobby, like
Oh man,
I'm
not until
like,
that moment did I
Same.
accept that he was dead. I was like,
I
"Oh,
know,
it's off camera." Like
yeah,
you've had people that we were 100% sure were dead before and they were
right,
fine and
right.
ah,
Like we got a Genesis planet nearby. Can we like just drop them off
come
there?
on.
But man, what a heartbreaker. So we raise our glasses to you, Cadet Bobby.
We do. We do. We do. We raise our glasses right now.
Cheers to you,
Cheers.
friend.
We'll take a moment. Take a moment. But this is why I have a really hard time when I am casually surfing the internet, engaging with other Star Trek fans, and I hear this refrain from a lot of listen, I don't think they're Trek fans for real. Obviously they're not. Otherwise, they would be watching and at least keeping their mouth shut if they didn't like something. But they say, "Oh, the writing is this. Oh, it's Star Trek 90210. Oh, it's blah, 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 blah." No, you're clearly not watching it because if you were, this would not be your feedback. This would not be your critique. There are valid things to critique about it, but that is not one of them because this episode alone proves time and time again through dialogue, through the pacing, through the action, through the set pieces, and the consequences therein, that Starfleet Academy did not come to play. It did not come to play.
Did
No,
not.
it
Did not.
not.
And I'm realizing, we are in the 32nd century. We should not be saying Vulcan or Romulan now. We should be saying Navarre.
Navarian. Yes, that's true. They did unify
Yeah.
as of season 3 Discovery.
Yeah.
Yes.
I forgot that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Norian.
to Navarre, to Cadet Bobby, we salute you. Thank you for your service and sacrifice.
And the final point on that is, did you all catch Caleb sitting on the floor?
Oh
the end?
gosh, no.
So he's sitting on the floor while all the cadets are paying their last respects. And it occurred to me that I think this is the very first time in Caleb's life where he watched someone sacrifice himself so he could live.
Yeah.
And he has never been that guy.
No.
So it's like that scene in the Avengers when Tony Stark goes to when Captain America says to Tony Stark, "You would never, throw yourself on a grenade for the other guy." I think we just have that moment now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a big something's coming.
Yeah. Something's coming. I think we're going to see a Caleb who's going to be reckoning with how he has previously seen the world after this episode, not just on this level of knowing like, wow, people actually, because to Caleb, the only person who ever cared enough about him to do anything for him was his mother, and she got taken away. Well, now he's, quite certain nobody else is ever going to, do anything for him without like a price tag or what are they going to get out of it for him or whatever. Here, he watched somebody else take a bullet for him. Here, he became not just physically intimate, but like emotionally intimate with another person And he has never done that before because that's too dangerous. That creates vulnerability.
Yep.
And the vulnerability that he exemplified was like actually his strength in that moment because he was able to communicate with her, and it, like with everything else, it became the secret weapon in the end. It's like those
Right.
parts that make you soft, those parts that you're afraid of, like they actually might be the thing that saves the day.
Yeah, yeah. The parts that are quote unquote soft and not strong or
The parts that you like keep away. I don't know. It's like
yeah,
being rewarded for kind of giving those parts to each other.
being vulnerable is not weakness.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
it's a strength, and that communication can really make the difference.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I really
Absolutely.
I'm very curious to see how Caleb behaves over the next couple of episodes because he is, a very young man with an underdeveloped frontal lobe. And so he has the opportunity to really just take this in a very positive way and, become the man that we all want him to be. And he also has the chance to have a couple of episodes of, some angst and trauma, and that could also be fun. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and this concept of trauma loop that
Mm,
Noose keeps bringing up, like, man, if you've experienced something hard, it can be difficult, like when you're particularly bothered by that thing, reliving it or getting stuck inside that loop, and it can be hard to break out of it.
mm,
Thinking about with Nala, you could effectively live forever as long as you don't get blown up, you know. What do you do with that? Because there's never an end to it. And
mm.
like, I think we're really, I am but an armchair psychologist. I don't have degrees in psychology. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a therapist. So take everything I am saying with a grain of salt and ask your therapist about it. But like learning, this is a series that I feel like is focusing on how do we break trauma cycles? How do we keep
Mm.
these terrible things that governing bodies are doing from happening again? And the Federation owning how they really messed up with Caleb right there, right at the front of the season, owning how they messed up with that was a really big deal.
Yeah.
That's so important.
Yeah.
Okay. We are owning that. How are we as individuals learning how to break these trauma cycles and cope in a healthy way? We talked about last episode with the doctor saying, how do you deal with loss? Well, you just get over it. That's coming back. I
Mm.
put a pin in that. I think we're getting a lot of these kinds of hints in this episode, and they could easily be undercut by like the action and the high stakes that we're getting in these episodes, which is still important.
Yeah.
Not saying that that isn't important, but there's a lot going on the emotional side too, and I am here for every bit of it. I am so impressed with this series, way more than I
Honestly,
ever expected to be.
Yeah.
Just give Tawny Newsome the keys to the kingdom, y'all. Oh my goodness. Let that woman run the show. Star Trek will be fine. Star Trek will be fine. So, yeah.
I feel like they're doing what Discovery was trying to do.
Yes, I
And
agree.
I hate to say because like Discovery walked so that the show could run, So like
Discovery
it's
walked
got
so
its
every bit of modern Trek could run.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
exactly. Yeah, so like it had its place, and I know I say this from a place where I still have a lot of like warmth towards Discovery, but
Oh, I do too.
I feel like this is a much better, like it's the same intent, which is, communicate the emotional depth of all these people and how their differences are their strengths, how their weaknesses are their strengths, and how vulnerability, connection, how those are like the fabric of the Federation, and what makes being human or being sentient, like that's the best thing about it is our connections. So
Mm-hmm.
that's I probably just talked myself out of whatever I was actually going to say because I went on another tangent, but yeah, like I feel like that's that's what this show is doing well. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's I'm actually getting that out of it. The sacrifices feel real. The growth feels earned. The emotional moments, I'm actually like connecting with them. I'm not like, oh, here we go. Like
Mm-hmm.
at no point does any of this feel unearned.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really only been a few episodes. We just met these
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
and like we basically just learned Bobby's name today. I know he
Yeah.
may have been named at some point, but like this is the most we ever heard his name. And
Yeah.
his loss still was emotionally powerful
Mm-hmm.
because of the way that this is written. It's really easy to connect with these characters.
Yeah, yeah. I think one other thing that I would add, Tarima pulling the plug on her emotional inhibitor
Mm.
and her saying to Caleb, I understand if you don't want to be friends with me after this, but I've got to do this. And she just kind of blows all the Furies away. Holy Moses.
But also,
I,
what are you talking about, girl? You're amazing.
you know, ever since she was introduced and they talked about the emotional inhibitor, I got Jean Grey vibes from her. I'm like, is she
Mm-hmm.
gonna go Dark
Yep.
Phoenix or is she just gonna go Phoenix?
Yep.
Dark Phoenix it is.
Yeah, and I would still even hesitate to say Dark Phoenix, but
That's true. Also, I haven't seen that one.
well,
That's the
don't
Sophie Turner
because
one, right? Yeah.
it's not good. But just read the comics instead.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
better. It will make more sense. But the thing that I think is really interesting with her is that we talked about it at the top of the episode. I really connect with Tarima's struggle with having the big emotions, the big feels, and not really being able to control them. And I knew exactly what she meant. It was like, you probably won't want to be friends with me after this.
Mm.
And I understood how she got there because like there's a lot of times I feel like I'm a lot. I know I'm a lot. But you know what? I'm a lot in a good way.
Yeah,
It's what
and
I've
like learn from this. Your a lot is the best part about you, and
Oh,
that's what I'm
thanks.
feeling about Tarima. Yeah, Ashley, you're good
Yeah.
people. But
Oh.
like with Tarima too, it's
Yeah, yeah.
it's like a nice moment where she's like, oh, like my immediate feeling when she said, I understand if you don't want to be. I'm like, are you kidding me? You could just like scream and protect him and murder all those people and like, no, that's amazing. That's
Yeah,
amazing. If he doesn't
and
talk to you, he's an idiot. His brain is underdeveloped. Don't worry about it, girl. A real man would love that shit.
well, and it's not even but she feels like what she's going to have to do is going to be monstrous because she's
Yeah.
basically just exploded
Yeah.
all
Mm,
these guys a la X-Men 3, which we will not speak of.
sorry, and maybe
Um,
maybe I'm a little dark. Maybe I'm like that's awesome, and
yeah.
the regular viewer would be like,
But well, that was like kind of the joke my best buddy and I back home had after we saw X-Men 3. It's like, "Huh, they got bulk discount on exploding people for this movie." Um
they must
was
have just learned how to do it.
Yeah, so again, but that, she just exploded all these Furies everywhere, and that's what that made me think of. It's like, yeah, she went she went Jean Grey on this. Oh my gosh.
And it also fits in with, way back to the sexy time scene
Uh-huh.
where they accidentally, touch those parts of their soul and they're like, I've never expected anyone to see that. And, like they had that moment of connection.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with this, where it's like now he's seen this part. So it's, I wonder if her now being in this coma situation that we're going to see, I guess, in further episodes, I wonder if he's going to have to draw her out and that's what's going to help him through his processing of all the things that he's going through. So it
Yeah.
even further like cements that the connection between them is something really special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We've got a chosen one and his soulmate.
The
Mm-hmm.
other big reveal that we get in this episode about Tarima is that Tarima is directly responsible for her
Oh,
father's loss of hearing,
oh yeah.
which I
Yeah.
recall there was a lot of commentary like Betazoids are telepathic. Why are they speaking sign language? This isn't Star Trek. Maybe watch the show, guys. Maybe just watch the show and let the story unfold. Anyway, yes, the story has unfolded, and that's a pretty big lore dump in my opinion. Tarima is definitely carrying around this baggage that her power has. And I viewed her saying, I understand if you don't want to be friends with me anymore. I viewed that almost as if like she is about to not only do just a little mass murder for herself to save her friends, but also that this reveal now shows Caleb who she really actually is. And what that dynamic shift where Caleb is closed off, he's been slowly getting to know her and opening up and feeling that vulnerability, now realizing that he has no control whatsoever. And that really she's the one with the power in this relationship. She's the one who can change things on a dime. And Caleb has no power. And for a guy who has been on his own for so many years, struggling to connect, basically just surviving day by day, that's got to be impressively nerve-wracking.
You know, something that you also flagged is that, Nala knows now as well, and the other instructor, and this actually means a lot for Tarima in general, for this character, because now she's going to have to contend with everyone at the school knowing exactly why she wears that inhibitor, which was a very closely guarded secret before this.
Yeah.
I feel like that'll develop in a really interesting way too. I mean, this is just such a good episode. It's like, as it on its own, it's a really good episode, and it's also like built several really, really, really interesting storylines that I'm very, very interested to follow.
Yeah. You know, I've heard some commentary like, okay, these first 5 episodes that we got just felt like, okay, we're getting some character development. We're getting to know a lot of the individual characters, all of that jazz. You know, are we going to get any high stakes? Are we going to get any action, whatever? Well, here you go.
Episode 6. There you go.
Episode 6 is going to blow you out of the water. So, my goodness.
You know what? The buildup was worth it, because I felt the emotional impact of the loss of these characters, even though we just met them, because I was so invested in like the universe. I'm so invested in the academy and like the future for the cadets and what everybody's building here, you know? So every loss feels like a loss to that like dream of bringing the Federation back, as it once was.
All right. Any final thoughts on this episode? Anything that we missed?
There's a lot to unpack in this episode, and I'm going to enjoy rewatching it on Thursday with subtitles, because I feel like there's a couple of phrases and things that I didn't quite catch, but the two things, we got a Starship Discovery reference.
Yay!
So they're still out there, they're still active, still doing their job. And Space Station J-19 working on classified stuff. It seems that was Nus Braka's target all along. So super interesting reveal on that, and I suspect we will be finding out in hopefully sometime in the next episode or two. But yeah, that's all I have in my notes.
Cipriana, any final thoughts on the episode, or anything that you're hoping for by the end of the season? Anything you want to happen?
Honestly, I'm very I was so impressed by this episode that I'm just excited to see where they're taking it. It's really, I love those moments where you're watching a show and you're just like, the writers have a direction, and I'm liking where this is going. Like let them cook, you know? And that's how I feel about this season, where I'm like, they would have a 15 episode season out of me because of this episode. Like, I would watch to see where these storylines are going. So I loved that we had more of the Doctor. I love him. He's so much fun. The sideways references, I'm glad we got to talk about. I'm looking over my notes because I did take notes with an actual paper and a pencil. Thank you very much.
Aw, I love that.
Look,
I'm very analog. I'm
see,
like digital, but also analog. I get it.
For notes, it's like it just feels different, and it made it really exciting. So anyway, and I also wanted to I wanted to point out a note that I made because it's for my own personal shame, and you can go ahead and not put this in there, but the second that Commander Tomo came up, I was like, that's a man. And then I wrote man and underlined it and put 2 exclamation points.
He was like, definitely a man. He was very handsome.
Because we've got these like kids here, and like this is. I didn't realize they were gonna kill him.
Yeah.
When he was first introduced, but I shouldn't have known.
He looked really familiar, but when the credits scrolled by, I didn't recognize the actor's name.
Yeah. But good for you, actor.
Yeah, good for you, fella.
I'm married to Mike, but you look great.
I mean, if I still had hair, that's the same hairline I would have. So not far off.
It's okay, Mike. Not a lot of guys can pull off the cue ball like you. So,
Thank you.
You're doing good, bro.
I love it.
Yeah. No, totally get it.
Jeff Tara Veneer.
Oh, he was in Dark Matter.
Oh, I have not seen that.
And Christmas Chronicles.
Oh, I have not seen that either. Isn't that the one with
Kurt Russell? And
yeah.
I've heard that's really good.
It's really cute.
Yeah.
Really cute.
Let's see. Oh, he was in that Thanksgiving movie that I keep meaning to watch on Thanksgiving and haven't.
Oh my God, Air Jaws, Final Frontier.
Well, we got some Final Frontier. He was also in a TV special called Shark House. That sounds exciting.
Oh, you know what? I think he was working for Shark Week. That's what that looks like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he's got a couple. He's got Air Jaws, Top Guns, and Great White Serial Killer Seal.
Nice.
That just
Love
feels
that.
like Shark Week stuff. Oh my God, this is
So
a very interesting IMDb.
yeah. So looks like he's Toronto based, so that automatically means he's going to be in a whole butt ton of sci-fi.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, it looks like he's done some voice acting, lots of TV work, but
You guys should reach out and see if you can do a little like special episode.
oh
I don't
yeah,
know.
Commander Tomov.
Yeah, just be
Tomov.
like, Daddy Tomov came on.
Yeah, man. Uh, but yeah, it looks like he's done a lot of voice work for both video games and animation, lots of guest spots on TV. So interesting. Very cool. Well, sir, we applaud you and your performance here this week on Starfleet Academy.
Yes.
So,
Thank you for your service.
yeah,
Your loss was felt.
yeah,
You saved
indeed.
those children.
Yeah, yeah. Anything else, friends, before we wrap up today?
This episode ends on such a down note. It's real. We are not happy at this school, and Admiral Vance is like, "You're going back to San Francisco. I'm sorry. This is it. Discovery is picking up the body bags, and we'll figure this out. But you're going back to San Francisco." And that was just like, yep, that's Admiral stepping in and taking charge of the situation. Like, you've got 2 confirmed losses, unknown damage to the Sargasso, a space station has been raided, and completely lost. This is a devastating L that Starfleet has taken. And it means something, and it means something to have that stake feel so real, as opposed to, no, it's okay, we'll hit the reset button.
Yeah. I think we're really meant to sit with this loss that we've suffered on this show. And honestly, this was an emotionally devastating episode.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel gratuitous. I've said that this is the second time I've said it this episode, but in a different context, the emotional loss and depth that we're experiencing in this episode, it means something. And one of the things that I've been trying to work on, because I tend to be a pretty positive person. I don't like to feel sad. Nobody likes feeling sad, I don't think.
Yeah.
Or at least not, a lot.
I mean, you might like to wallow in it a little bit, but
maybe a little bit. But my best buddy Jen, she's a counselor of sorts, and she said, "Feel your feelings. It's okay. It's okay to feel your feelings." And I'm like, "Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that." And I also think of my friend's kid, who's 5, who's so emotionally intelligent, and if she is like upset about something, and and it's not that I don't want her to feel her feelings, but I just like, I try to make a joke or try to make her laugh or whatever. And one time she said to me point blank, "Auntie Ashley, I just want to be sad right now." I'm like, "Okay, buddy, that's okay." Like, so emotionally intelligent. And I'm like, I think I'm just going to be sad right now until we get to watch episode 7.
Yeah, fair. That's fair.
Hopefully episode 7 will lift us up a little bit.
I think so.
I hope so.
Yeah.
But I'm emotionally prepared for whatever comes.
Yeah.
This journey with y'all. Come on.
Yeah. Well, folks, I think that's about all we've got for this week on We Are Starfleet. We've been discussing season 1, episode 6 of Starfleet Academy. Come, let's away. So before we go, I want to say thank you to our wonderful guest, the lovely Cipriana Cuevas. Cipriana, thank you for being on the show today.
This was so wonderful. It's really fun to be the civilian guest that comes with like absolutely no lifetime of knowledge, just out here on vibes.
Honestly, listen, I think that perspective is so valuable because we have literally said multiple times on this show, I would love to know if this is somebody's first Trek, how are they taking this episode, or if they've never watched XYZ series that's being referenced in this episode. How are they taking it? Yeah. Is this still accessible for them? And so getting your perspective has been really lovely. So thank you so much for sharing that with us today.
Happy to do it. Happy to do it. This is it's a growing Trek universe, and there's space for all of us. So love it.
Exactly. We don't gatekeep around here.
Exactly.
We love bringing people into the fandom, and we don't clutch our pearls when we find out somebody hasn't watched everything. Good grief, calm down. Um, so, Cipriana, if folks at home want to connect with you, where can they direct their subspace transmissions?
They cannot.
Okay, direct all subspace transmissions for Cipriana to Mike.
To Mike, I am not a public person. I don't want to be a public person, but I'm sure you guys are lovely. Tweet at Mike, and he will read it out loud to me, and then I will reply to you.
Okay. So, Mike, if folks want to send subspace transmissions to you and or Cipriana, how can they do that?
The best way to do that is to hit up our show link at Starfleet Pod on Threads, Instagram, and Blue Sky is one of the big primary areas that we are dialoguing with our Trekkie fandom. And it's really cool to, see your comments come in. And, if you're a first-time listener, thank you. If you're a long-time listener, thank you so much. Ashley, we've been doing this now for almost 6 years, if you can believe it.
I know. I was a little late to the party, jumped in like 2021?
I think so,
maybe?
like 21 or
yeah.
But you had come on as like a guest, I think, for a couple of episodes, and I was just like, Ian, come on, man, like can we just? She's so good. Come on, let's do it. And then that was it.
I just at one point I woke up and had a group message between you, Ian, and Craig, and you're like, so you guys are hosting our show now. I'm like, what? Cool. I mean, not mad about it, but cool. Thanks.
Yep.
It wasn't even like an invite. It was just like, so you guys are going to be hosting with us. Okay, cool.
Well, see, you guys were doing Rarely Going, which was covering the Lower Deck show.
Well, that was Craig.
That was
mostly.
Craig,
Again,
yeah.
I was still guesting mostly at that point.
And then, lo and behold, you are the victim of your own success. So welcome.
Hey, never a bad day when I get to wake up and talk about Star Trek.
Heck yeah. But yes.
Also, for the record, Ashley's a very delightful person.
Oh my gosh, you're
just
so sweet.
in general. I don't know.
It's
Have
true.
we put it? Is it in like the show canon that you visited us and it was?
I don't know if it was in the show canon, but the We Are Starfleet crew got to meet in person for the first time in November of 2024.
Yeah.
The three fellas at Hull met each other at varying points, but I hadn't ever met any of you in person because I live not in the deep south, but I live in the south. Y'all are mostly
South,
northeast, and Craig's over in Scotland.
Yep.
So
we're all spread out, but it was great to have you here and to host you and anytime.
You let me make you breakfast, so
yes.
It was delicious. What a wonderful house guest. She's welcome here anytime.
Oh my gosh!
That tells you anything about this person.
Cooking is my love language. That's how I show people I love them. Is I make them food. So anyway,
you're welcome here anytime, and everyone should know you're wonderful.
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. Yeah.
Ashley, what about yourself? Where are we finding all of your great works out there? Because you're not just talking Star Trek here.
Yeah. So there's a few different ways to connect with me, folks. If you want to connect with me on socials, I am at The Nerdy Blogger on Facebook, Mastodon, and mostly Blue Sky. You can read my words on my blog. Go to thenerdyblogger.com. Shout out to former guest Charlene Schmidt, who joined us for our coverage of Terrarium in Strange New Worlds. Char's my sister from Another Mama Mister, and she helped me rebuild my website this year. So thank you, Char.
It looks great.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very happy with it. So check me out there at thenerdyblogger.com. You can also read my words at fangirlish.com, where I write about film and television, mostly Star Trek. I'm doing weekly coverage of Starfleet Academy. So you want to hear my further thoughts, I'm going to have a lot to say about this episode. So check me out there, fangirlish.com. You can hear me talking all things Gene Roddenberry with a guest on our last episode, the indomitable Earl Green.
Yes.
On Mission Log Genealogy, where Earl and I talk about Gene Roddenberry's pre-Star Trek TV writing. Check us out at missionlogpodcast.com or look up Genealogy, that's Gene, as in Gene Roddenberry, -ology, wherever you get your podcasts. You can hear me on the network at our Film Stories Network at Podcast 616, talking all things Marvel and MCU. That's Podcast-616, getting ready to have some Wonder Man coverage coming up real quick. And you can also hear me on another show called the Video Store Podcast, where myself and a entourage of rotating hosts, we swap in a round-robin fashion, offering movie recommendations based around a theme or a actor, director, etc. That kind of like what you get at a video store. Check us out at videostorepodcast.com. And now I'm done. Whew.
Woo!
He does it all.
I do a lot of things. I am aware of many hats. So, all right, folks, thanks for joining us for another episode. And remember, we're part of the Film Stories Podcast Network. Please subscribe to We Are Starfleet and give us one of those 5-star ratings and reviews on Apple Podcasts. And if you want to help us out, we'd love to connect with you at Blue Sky, again, at starfleetpod.bsky.social, and Instagram at starfleetpod. Check out all our links at wearestarfleetpod.com. But until next time, do your homework, come to class on time, and make your bed.